President Trump just announced he's quadrupling the amount of ICE raids across the United States, 4 timesing it, yes. He's going to on the offensive. Meanwhile, California's anti-law riots are no longer confined to just the Golden State. They're now spreading coast to coast. Chicago, Seattle, Atlanta, San Francisco, Denver, Portland, New York, Austin, Texas, and more. I'm sure I'm missing a few, because this has been happening over the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, a group called No Kings planning nationwide riots against the Trump administration on January 14th. I'm sure they'll say there'll be peaceful protests. Nothing to see here. It's supposed to coincide with Flag Day, the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army, and a military parade in Washington, D.C., and President Trump's birthday. The NGOs are spread out all over the country. Look at the different areas where they've organized these different protests in the coming weeks. Look at that. So you think this is just like organic, just popping up? This is a stunning map when you look at it. Overnight, the head of Mexico's Senate, the narco cartel-run Mexican government, now says they will annex the southern part of the United States and return Mexico's border to the 1830s map of Mexico. You think this guy's joking? Watch.
Yo estuve en la Torre Trump cuando decía el presidente electo Donald Trump estaba 16 días de tomar protesta por primera vez como presidente, asumir el cargo. Y yo dije, si hacemos el muro, sí lo pagamos, pero lo hacemos con el mapa de México en 1830. Este es lo que era Estados Unidos en 1830. Y esto era parte de México, no era todo México. Si ustedes pueden ver, quizás un tercio, mínimo una cuarta parte del territorio norteamericano era parte de México.
Now, Mexicans are demanding that Americans give back the land. This is what Nick Frietas just posted on Twitter. He said, Mexicans are demanding that Americans give back the land we conquered from the Mexicans, who conquered it from the Spanish, who conquered it from the native tribes, who were constantly conquering each other. So Mexico wants their land back and
also,
ready for an invasion.
Have you ever heard of the Mayans? They absolutely did not want to be a part of Mexico and were conquered. So that's rich.
Right.
That's you get to say that.
At least we get to keep Louisiana, because that was before 1830, right? So we're good there, right?
Guess.
We still get to keep
we got that in the Louisiana Purchase.
Back.
Maybe the French, maybe Emmanuel Macron and his husband will want that back. So we'll see about that. Meanwhile, President Trump is removed. So if President Trump is removed from power somehow, these guys are ready to invade the United States. Journalist Ryan Mata just over the border in Mexico just yesterday. This video is from yesterday, not last year. Watch this.
Ryan Mata reporting live from Tapachula, Texas. When you hear people like Kristi Noem telling us that the border is closed, and you're taking a look at what I'm showing you guys right here, does this look like the Mexico border's closed? Does this look like the Mexican president is trying to slow down the flow of immigration? America, wake up. There is a tsunami of migrants just over our border, waiting to invade, waiting for President Trump to be removed from office, waiting for this regime change operation to take place so that they can install the next Rhino sleazebag sellout who's going to open the floodgates, and the gates of hell are going to open upon our country. You should pray that President...
And that's the fear, right? That we get a Rhino in there, like a Greg Abbott or other individuals who will keep these floodgates open to invade the United States.
So then the deportations we're seeing is like, a hole in your boat that you're, shoveling out with a spoon. Isn't there an expression like that?
Yeah,
right?
but the border is closed, right? The idea is the border is closed. And so now you're quadrupling the number of ICE raids. We're going to talk about more about that in a second. I guess it's like, they're trying to get your boat is sinking, but you're just trying to bucket out a little bit of water. Yeah. Colonel McGregor posted this a few minutes ago. Mr. President, it's time to invoke the Insurrection Act. So we want to ask J.J. Carroll, former 24-year veteran of the Customs and Border Protection. He's written an incredible book called Treason. I encourage all of you to go and buy it. It really lays out exactly how the Biden administration's strategic and malicious destruction of America's sovereignty unfolded. He walks through it point by point. He should know he was there serving the United States of America when all this happened. JJ, great to have you back on the show. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me, man. If I was hired as the United States Border Patrol agent back in 1997 and I was stationed in San Diego, if I went off of that map, the senator from Mexico, I would have had a beautiful, beautiful home in Oregon, because that's where the Border Patrol would be. They would be jumping the border fence into Oregon or Oklahoma. It's absurd what's going on. But you're right. You alluded to this. This is bigger than just Mexican nationals waving their flags and irritating us. This is a coordinated attack, an intentional planned attack to destroy the sovereignty of America. It's spreading across America right now as we speak.
Let's talk tactically.
Okay.
That's something that you would do as a Customs and Border Patrol agent with your team, going out and trying to get these individuals. So I don't want to talk like pie in the sky stuff. If you were in charge of these groups, you're saying, President Trump's saying now we're going to go after 4 times the amount of ICE raids. We're doubling down on this. Colonel McGregor says, invoke the Insurrection Act right now. What would you be doing in your office with your team and coordinating with ICE to go out and try to stop what's happening right now in the United States? What would you be doing tactically?
The first thing I would have done is never did what they did 3 or 4 days ago, sending 30, 40, 50, 80 ICE agents into the belly of the beast of LA. I would never have done that with no backup. Whoever did that needs to be called on the carpet immediately. Colonel McGregor is absolutely right. Donald Trump, you need to go all in. There are no more half measures. Stop being half-ass about this. You sent in 7,000 National Guard. You need 17,000. You need 20,000. You want to double, quadruple? Well, then you need to assign military to your agents. So if I was in charge and I had a 50-man ICE unit under me, I would demand I need at least 100 to 200 National Guard or Marines assigned to my unit for coverage. You don't send me into these belly of the beast all by myself with no backup. Why would you do that? Because I'm sitting duck.
Do we have the trained personnel to do that? You can't just take a green person off the street and say you're an ICE agent, obviously.
No, see, thank you for asking it, because everyone's like, well, the big, beautiful bill, they're going to go hire ICE agents. Hold on a second. You're not going, if the big, beautiful bill passes, you will not see a new ICE officer for 18 months to 2 years. That's how long. This is best case scenario, guys. Best case to get one through the academy, hire process through the academy, train and get on the street. And then he's going to need about 3 years to even understand what the hell's going on. Our government put us in a position that we are vulnerable. I've said this on your show multiple times. We are the most vulnerable we've ever been in America. And that's a great question, Natalie, because the reality is this is all we have. So if this is all we have, people don't understand. We have 50 million illegal aliens in America. You have less than 6,000 ICE officers. Let me repeat that. Less than 6,000 ICE officers. You need about 60,000 to get this job done. So then how are you going to do it? And Clayton, This is how you do it. You get the military. There's no other way. This is a do or die situation for America right now. You don't understand. The Democrats put a demographic time bomb in the middle of America, and it's already begun to explode. American women don't reproduce at the replacement level. 50 million illegal aliens are reproducing at least 5 times the natural average of reproduction in America. It's a bad math problem.
So
we're going to lose.
Strategically and tactically, because this is your specialty, when you look at the United States of America right now, I showed a map at the beginning here, I don't know if you saw it, showing how these NGOs have these coordinated protests across the United States. On top of that, here's that map again. We also know that ICE agents were tipping off. These groups they knew that these raids were coming, so they were being tipped off. So not only are they dealing with having to go and actually carry out the raid, they're also being undermined before they go. So strategically, tactically, you're in the Customs and Border Protection, you have these 100 ICE agents, or you have the U.S. Marines, the National Guard. Like, what exactly are you doing to prevent people from tipping you off? Moving in to certain areas, how exactly would you be carrying that out?
I think that you have to move forward believing that the enemy already knows that you're coming. That's how I would frame my tactical operations. I would go in with 50 guys, 100 guys. Let's pick San Diego, for example. I grew up there. I lived there. So we're in San Diego. I have to go downtown into the barrio, into National City. Well, I know that I got to go strong because there's about I'd say tens of thousands of illegal aliens and supporters of illegal aliens. So I need to go down there heavy and hot. I need to know where my targets are. I'm arresting people immediately. I have my back cover of the military literally having my back, like circling around us and moves as one unit. At the same time, and this is where people don't understand, because they think, well, just arrest them. Well, where am I going to put them? Where am I taking them? I need a mechanism that when I arrest these people, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, I need to have the vehicles ready, stuff them in those vehicles, and then I need a place to go outside of where I'm arresting them. I don't want to sit in the barrios of San Diego or Los Angeles. I want to take those arrestees.
So you're a sitting duck. You'd be
desert.
like a sitting duck sitting there. And that's where these protests are. So you've got like 50 guys. You've made a arrest of 50 people. And then suddenly you have no like armored vehicles to put these individuals in to haul them off to prison or wherever they're going to be held and processed. So you're a sitting duck surrounded by these protesters and rioters.
Well, you're absolutely right. And this goes back to what Colonel Douglas McGregor said, the Insurrection Act. If I'm Tom Homan, one of the things that I do, you ask me, what would I do? Right? It's a big task to say, what do you want to do? Well, if I'm Tom Homan, I'm Donald Trump. He needs a military general that works side by side with him, that does the logistical part, the air flights out of here, the deportation, the movement of illegal aliens in the thousands daily into detention facilities, and run them through the court system as quickly as you can to get them deported. There is a whole mechanism that needs to be in place that was not in place. The question I have, and I'm the biggest Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, and Donald Trump fan, where's the planning? Why wasn't this thought out? I don't understand. You had years to get ready for this moment. Years. I would have never done what they're doing now. This is law enforcement 101. Why are we not thinking outside the box instead of doing the same damn thing that we've always done and then be shocked that our adversary knows exactly what we're going to do?
Well, Politico reported this week that we're using Gitmo now because we don't have the beds, we don't have the detention facility, so we're using Guantanamo Bay as sort of a holdover place as these people are on their way to be deported to their home countries. And that makes me very uncomfortable because, of course, we know what Bush and Obama did to innocent people at Guantanamo, and that is purposely designed to operate outside the rule of law. And so you know, I understand the merits of thinking outside the box, but I don't want to go outside the box that innocent people can be dragnet. So what do you think of that?
I don't have a problem with using Gitmo. That's American territory. So why not use it now? If that has that stain on it from the previous administrations, then why can't we build a tent city on the border in Arizona and California and New Mexico and Texas? And before anyone says, well, you can't do that. Well, wait a minute. Obama did that in less than a year, built detention facilities that holds thousands of people. In fact, if you want to know the truth, we're still holding thousands of children in these FEMA-style camps. The border's not closed. And Ryan Matt is absolutely correct. The moment Donald Trump's removed from office, they're going to pour into America. So, Natalie, you say you can't use Guantanamo. So let's say that you and I come to an impasse and we're both politicians. We say, we need to find a middle ground. Okay. I can go down to Arizona right now and I can construct a 10,000-man tent. And then next to that tent, I can throw up a makeshift immigration court. I could cross-designate Border Patrol agents to be judges, et cetera, and let's start cranking these things out. And there's C-130 flights because there's multiple military installations in San Diego, in Tucson, outside of Tucson, Sierra Vista, et cetera, and we're just flying people out of here and dumping them in their home country. I mean, we have to. That's what I'm saying. Think outside the box. Stop doing the same thing. Okay, let's look at this from a real big picture. I have 6,000 ICE officers. Let's round it to 10,000. I get Border Patrol, FBI, blah, blah, blah. So I get 10,000. If I stay at 1,000 to 1,500 arrests a day, it's going to take us over 100 years to get these people out of our country. 100 years. That's why you see Donald Trump saying, I need a quadruple, which I applaud him. You see Stephen Miller coming and having a rant against immigration law enforcement in a closed-door meeting saying, this is unacceptable. It has to at least be tripled every single day. If you want to get us emptied out of these illegal aliens, you have to average between 10 and 15,000 a day. And I don't see the apparatus for it.
Someone in our chat room here, Mike G., I read our chat room. He says, and even when they're critical, Mike G says, this is pathetic. Redacted is playing right into this stupid psychological operation, a psyop. So this whole thing, first of all, I don't exactly know. Maybe, Mike, you can elaborate on that. But, Mike, are you saying basically that this entire thing that we're seeing right now with all these riots and illegal immigration raids, the ICE raids and all of this is one big, we're all being played for something? JJ, what do you say to that?
And what could that mean?
Right. What is the operation? That we're all being duped so that we need to give up our civil liberties and have a biometric security state so that everything is tracked and we sort of hand our lives over to Palantir. Is that maybe that's the psychological operation? I mean, you worked on the front lines of this. Is this all one big lie?
No, it's not a big lie. It's a big incompetence. We're not doing the job that we need to do. That's just the truth. We're being ineffective. Now, I understand people are afraid or have concerns of the Real ID, and I do too. I don't trust the government. Why would anyone trust this government? But let's get into reality. We're already surveilled. We already know. So let's maybe put that on the back burner, because if we don't get these people out of our country, they're going to burn our country to the ground. In fact, they're going to burn our country to the ground this weekend. This is not hypothetical that, hey, into the future, maybe 10 years. No. This Saturday, fires are going to start burning across America. Now, we get that control, then I'm all for, hey, hold on a second. Why are we being surveilled? What? Let's strip the Patriot Act, get rid of it. But in order to get rid of the Patriot Act and get rid of those people, we have to get rid of the politicians like Lindsey Graham, Jim Jordan, on and on and on, that have allowed this to continue on. Not the Democrats.
Yeah.
The Democrats are gutless. They're evil people. And I say that that's my belief. But the Republicans are no different. They're like a lesser form of evil because they're complicit in all this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is a uniparty.
Yeah. No,
Exactly.
this is something we are in agreement here.
The uniparty. J.J. Carroll's book is called Treason. Read it now. Go and you can learn the mechanisms. And by the way, a video just surfaced from Joe Biden from like 15 years ago where he's saying, sanctuary cities are an abomination. And I don't know what happened to him. What clone replaced Joe Biden? But watch that video. It's pretty remarkable. Mike Benz tweeted it out. It's like looking in a time capsule. He's like, if you have a sanctuary city, your city will descend into chaos. It'll turn into a garbage dump. That was Joe Biden. What happened to him?
Prescient of him, huh? Amazing.
Isn't it amazing
Good to
when you
see
go
you,
back
Jared.
in history? Yep. Thank you very much. Always great talking
sorry.
to you guys.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
No, you were great.
Yeah,
No, I'm
and
just saying
Obama
that
saying the
it's-
same things. Yeah, go ahead, JJ.
No, just when you see the historical nature, they act as if the internet doesn't exist, and then it pops up, and they become the racist, xenophobe bigots that we all are. It's amazing.
They are all saying this 15 years ago. JJ, great to see you. Thank you so much. I wish you were in charge of this. We'd be in a much better situation. Thanks as always, JJ. Great to see you.
Thank you.